my son. Think I ain't spoke to my son. Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas. His ass going to prison.
Y'all, T.I.'s worst nightmare might actually be around the corner. After years of warning his son, King Harris, to slow down before he threw his whole future away, there's now real talk that a judge could hit him with a 5-year prison sentence. 5 years. The crazy part? That's exactly what T.I. predicted back in 2022 if King didn't change his ways. And honestly, nobody can act surprised, because if you've been keeping up with King, all the warning signs were right there. From reckless driving to that viral Waffle House fight, to flashing guns and music videos, he's been stacking up trouble like it's nothing. The arrest footage from 2024 showed just how far it went, almost crashing into a cop car, eating in the car, a gun on his hip, and that old 2022 warrant finally catching up to him. It was like every bad choice he ever made came back to hit him all at once. What makes it even heavier is the timing. Just weeks after that arrest, King became a dad. He was posting about his newborn, dropping a song called Dear Son, and acting like he was ready to step up. But instead of settling into fatherhood, he's staring down a courtroom that could take him away for half a decade. So, let's get into how King Harris went from being the son of a hip-hop legend to possibly sitting in court with a 5-year prison sentence, because the story behind this is way messier than you think. It all started back in October 2024, the day King Harris officially crashed out. He pulled out of a gas station in his BMW and almost ran straight into a cop car. Like, you couldn't make this stuff up. The officers walked up, and instantly it was bad news. They smelled weed, then noticed a gun sitting on his hip. At that point, they already knew they were taking him in. When they ran his name, it got even worse. Turns out King still had an open warrant from 2022. That case was over speeding.
If you goddamn keep it up, they're going to prison.
Then he want to talk about some other like this being shit. This being shit.
An officer later said that King was calm and cooperative the entire time. Still, he ended up in DeKalb County Jail before being moved over to Pickens County once the warrant was recalled. And just like that, King went from flexing on Instagram to sitting in a jail cell with the whole internet watching. That's the part that stings the most, because T.I. had already warned everyone about this years ago. Back in 2022, when King was just starting to spiral, T.I. went on Instagram and made it clear that if his son didn't slow down, prison would be the only outcome. He wasn't speaking just as a worried father. He was speaking as someone who's been there himself.
No, I'm being real. You lying. You lying. You up here flagging. You're cat.
T.I. even said straight up, time is going to be his teacher. And now, that teacher just showed up, in the form of a 5-year sentence. When clips of King's arrest started circulating, fans went back to that old video of T.I. talking and started dragging him. Some people were like, see? He spoke it into existence. Others felt bad for him, because imagine watching your own warning play out in real time. Either way, the internet couldn't stop pointing out how right he was. T.I. knew the energy. He saw the pattern. And still, King didn't listen. And speaking of King not listening, let's not forget the Waffle House meltdown. This was back in 2022. One of the first times people really started side-eyeing him like, oh yeah, he's headed down a bad road. A video went viral of King in a full-blown screaming match with the Waffle House staff. He was going back and forth, acting way bigger than he was, and you could just tell he wanted to prove something. But instead of looking tough, he came off as entitled and out of control. Even T.I. couldn't defend that one. He went live later and said he was perplexed, genuinely confused about why his son even stopped what he was doing just to argue with a short-order cook. He couldn't understand why King felt the need to match that energy at all. Here's King in that infamous Waffle House argument, the one even T.I. couldn't excuse.
Does your buddy have one as well? Alright, just hang tight right here for me. Let me clear this. I don't want any accidental fires.
And if the Waffle House drama wasn't embarrassing enough, the whole gun situation really showed just how far off track King was getting. Remember when T.I. and Boozy had to check their sons on camera? That clip went viral for a reason. King and Boozy's son, Tootie Raw, were shooting a music video, and instead of focusing on the music, they had guns all over the set like it was a trap house. That's when the dads had to step in. You can hear T.I. basically saying, why y'all even toting guns when you got girls right here? Talk about tough love. It turned into a full-on lecture. T.I. started breaking down how one wrong move with a weapon, or even having drugs around, could land them straight in jail. And the wild part? He wasn't even being harsh. He was giving them the exact blueprint to avoid the same mistakes he'd already made. You can actually see that moment for yourself. T.I. and Boozy sitting their sons down, spelling out why flashing guns in videos is a straight road to jail.
There's no safety. You gotta take.
There's no safety.
Okay.
Well, I'm not gonna mess around with that too much. I'm just set this down.
Fans actually praised both dads for stepping in, saying it was refreshing to see them try to guide their kids instead of just letting them wild out. But the problem was King. You could just tell he wasn't really listening. He heard the words, but he wasn't absorbing the message. The part that had fans really side-eyeing him wasn't just the music videos or the temper. It was his personal life. Especially when he popped up with a baby mama that had everybody talking. The mother of his child, who goes by Big Nana, was rumored to be way older than King. And let's be real, fans didn't hold back. Some swore she was only with him for the money. Others called her a groupie trying to secure a check. Either way, the age gap had people talking. But King, he couldn't care less. He leaned all the way in, threw her a whole baby shower, posted proudly about the pregnancy, and when their son was born in November 2024, he couldn't stop bragging. Here's a clip of King celebrating with Big Nana, like everything was perfect. And not long after, he was online proudly talking about his newborn son.
So what I'm saying is, they wasn't
talk like that outside.
Hey, I can talk how the fuck I want to wherever I'm at. I'm on live, shawty. Stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. This ain't your fucking restaurant. This ain't your fucking restaurant.
He even dropped a track called Dear Son, where he rapped about stepping up as a dad, captioning his post with, November 5th, 8:09 a.m. Welcome King Jr., time to take over. And honestly, for a second, it looked like maybe he was finally ready to change, like fatherhood might actually humble him. But of course, the timing couldn't have been worse. Because while King was holding his newborn and playing proud dad on Instagram, that arrest video was making its rounds online, reminding everyone of the trouble he was already in. The saddest part? This wasn't even shocking. Fans had been saying for years that King's wild behavior was going to catch up to him. And now, here it was. Full circle, exactly how people predicted. So if a judge really hits King with 5 years, don't be surprised if we see T.I. looking more hurt than angry. Because yeah, he warned him. Yeah, he tried to guide him. But when it's your child sitting in that courtroom wearing shackles, that pain cuts deep, and if you've seen their podcast together, you already know, and the bond is real. Which is exactly why this will hit T.I. even harder.
What is it about
It's not illegal to have.
Well, in the manner in which you portraying in the lifestyle, it don't look legitimate, sir. Because I'm not supporting no more. I'm not. I ain't doing. I'm not. What kind of parent don't support their kids in little goddamn slide?
And it's going to hit his image too. People already drag him, saying he failed as a father, that all the money and fame in the world couldn't stop his son from spiraling. If King actually gets sentenced, those voices are only going to get louder. Especially because T.I. has always branded himself as the OG dad, the one who knows better and teaches lessons.
Get out.
So I ain't no
Get
Tupac
out.
actor.
Get out.
I thought that was a lookalike Tupac.
What are you talking about? You never seen Juice?
Yeah, I did. I thought that was a lookalike
Tupac. What about when they say Tupac Shakur on the screen?
I ain't see that.
One fan straight up said, King is enjoying every minute knowing he might go viral. He knows he's being recorded. I'm glad he was respectful. And honestly, you can see that in the video. Even while he's getting cuffed, King isn't lashing out. He's calm, maybe too calm. Like he knows the cameras are rolling, and it's just another clip for the blogs. Then there was the crowd calling this his so-called street cred moment. Someone commented, that man finally got his street cred. He's been telling y'all he's outside. And that right there shows just how twisted this whole situation is, because instead of focusing on his newborn son, people think King is out here chasing a jail record just to prove he's real, but not every comment was harsh. Some people actually tried to give him grace. One person wrote, he's going to be fine. He's been doing good since his son was born, so I'm wishing him blessings. He handled himself well. That's the flip side. people hoping fatherhood will really ground him, even if prison becomes part of the lesson. And for T.I., it's like watching history repeat itself. The same system he fought to survive now swallowing up his own son. The worst part? Deep down, T.I. saw this coming. So don't get it twisted. This isn't just King Harris wilding out for headlines. This is a real possibility of prison time, a real consequence, and a real test for T.I. as a father. Because if a judge really makes that 5-year sentence official, King's story won't just be another viral clip. It'll be a hard lesson stamped into his life forever.